For the people to win, politics as usual must lose.
A question: how does a man born in Austria by Austrian parents end up becoming the governor of America's most populated state, California?
I think that to serve 40 million people and to be the governor of the greatest state in the union, greatest state in the country, it's just unbelievable, the responsibility.
Those who supported me today and those who did not, I want to reach out to everybody, to young and old, rich and poor, people of all religions, all colors, and all nationalities. I want to be the governor for the people. I want to represent everybody.
I think he can be effective because what you need is someone with leadership qualities and someone who can make, the right decisions, and someone who also, quite frankly, surrounds himself with pretty smart people. And I think he can do that.
I think California is really fed up. They've been fed up with this whole system, and what you mentioned before about no political experience, maybe that's what we need, is something fresh and something new.
This story is not just a success story, it's insane, terrifying, and at the same time, inspiring.
Well, my father was a very complicated guy. Father was kind of like, a plus and a minus.
Heard somewhere you mentioned your father made you earn your breakfast.
They were not like, come on Arnold, stay, you can stay as long as you want. No, with 15 I already had to pay to live at home. I mean, I made 300 shilling a month as an apprentice, and 100 shilling I had to give my parents so I could get the food. My father was very strict, we were hit many times and punished for not doing the things the way they thought we should do things. And I hated that. I said to myself, this is uncalled for. There would be different degrees of punishments and all that stuff. I felt like there was never really a compliment. There was never really, Arnold, you did well in this. Your father was an alcoholic. I said, well, they didn't really call it that in Austria. I said, they just said to someone that got drunk once a week and came home and was like brutalizing everybody for one time. And the rest of the time he was very sweet and very nice. It was just that he was always kind of a tough guy, a military guy. My father contributed for me to wanting to get away from Austria and to get away from home. I got to get away from all of that. So it was good, it was a big plus. So I look at it as a plus rather than a negative. So I said, I'm gonna get away as fast as I can. I will show you guys in order. So it gave me the motivation to just leave and get out of there.
Just one day and one big decision could change the trajectory of one's entire existence.
So when you grow up like that, you don't shy away from anything.
What happened was I saw one time a 6-foot mirror when I was 15 years old, and I looked in the mirror. I was standing there in front of the mirror, totally naked. And there was one particular part of my body that was bigger than the rest of it. And so
we'll be right back after the.
So I'm a man of perfection.
Yeah.
And so I said to myself, I got to bring the rest of the body up to the standard of this one part. And so that's when I started exercising.
Like my idol, Reg Park, who was like they played Hercules in the movies, and Steve Reeves. Those guys I idolized, so I just wanted to be like them. Then by coincidence, I picked up a cover of a magazine, a bodybuilding magazine, that had Reg Park, that very same guy that was in the Hercules movies, on the cover, and it said, here's how Mr. Universe became Hercules. I said, oh my God, this is the blueprint how to get there. I started going to the gym every single day. I started working out. I started eating well and didn't drink. I didn't smoke any of the cigarettes or nothing like that. I just was on this trajectory to become the champion. And so every single hour, I always felt out of place in Austria. I felt kind of like, it was a beautiful country and everything, but it was kind of like, I felt like it's too little for me. I was much more attracted to America. I said, so if I can see it, I can achieve it. And so when they said no, and when they said it's impossible, it actually gave me fuel to show them that I can do it. But I knew 100% that I'm gonna get there, even though everyone else in Austria thought it was totally crazy, to have such a dream, because bodybuilding was not an Austrian sport. Skiing is, and soccer and those kind of sports, bicycle riding, but not bodybuilding. And so I had this urge of coming to America, so I just couldn't figure out how. And so that's why I think I started with bodybuilding also, because it was a very American sport. And I felt like, well, you know, if I really do well in bodybuilding, and if I could become like one of those guys, like Steve Reeves or Rich Park, then I will be eventually invited to come to America.
And so as soon as I had that dream, life changed for me.
At around this time, it was required for every 18-year-old Austrian male to serve for a year in the army. During the army service, he participated in the Junior Mr. Europe contest, skipping military duties for the competition.
I went to the office and they said, hey, I want to go to this competition. And they said, no, you're in basic training and no one can leave the base when you're in basic training. So I said to myself, well, fuck, I don't give a shit. I'm going to go anyway.
I won a Mr., you know, like I said, Junior Mr. Europe.
Now when I won the European Championships with the age of 18, the Junior Championships, then I knew I was on the right track, because I knew that a year later, after the military was over, I would come back and win the regular Mr. Europe competition and Best Buildman of Europe.
Then I won Mr. Europe the next year.
But when I came back to the military, yeah, they did not know what to do. I came back with the fucking trophy. I came back with the trophy. So they said, well, should we now punish him for being a winner? Or should we punish him because he left without permission? So they didn't know what to do. So they put me in jail for one night, and then they let me out, and then the next day they celebrated with me.
This gave him popularity in bodybuilding circles. With the American dream in mind, he knew it would only be possible if he competes in the Mr. Universe. So, he took his first plane trip out of Austria.
As every woman in the hall agreed, when the supermen of Europe got together in Cologne for the International Bodybuilding Contest. And with what pride the mighty men displayed all the well-known muscles, plus a lot that the average man had never heard of.
The following year, his training paid off, and he won the Mr. Universe, becoming the youngest ever to win it at 20 years of age.
And then Joe Weider started putting me on the cover of his magazines. I felt like, this is really great. This guy is trying to get information about me and he wants to bring me over. I said, this could really work. I mean, my plan, my master plan is becoming a reality.
After this win, his popularity grew exponentially.
And sure enough, at the age of 21, when I won the second Mr. Universe title, all of a sudden I got a telegram. And the telegram was just basically said, we want to welcome you and invite you and welcome you in America at the Mr. Universe contest in Florida, which is next week. And I knew when I packed my gym bag in Munich, where I was living at the time, that I would never come back.
He took business classes, worked out in Gold's Gym, the most famous gym of professional bodybuilders, where he became lifelong friends with Franco Colombo.
It was a very strange encounter. And then on stage, we end up with these two guys. They give me a trophy for winning powerlifting. Yeah. And then they give Arnold Jr. Mr. Europe. I turn around and say, I say, I never saw you. You're not from Germany. I'm not from Germany. I'm from Austria.
Today is our 51-year anniversary, which means that Franco and I met on a bodybuilding powerlifting stage in Stuttgart, Germany in 1965 on October 31st.
He continued participating in more bodybuilding competitions, winning the Mr. Universe again for the next 2 years consecutively. The following year, 1969, he competed in his first Mr. Olympia. With little experience at such a young age, he impressed the audiences and the judges, placing second on his debut, losing to three-time Mr. Olympia Sergio Oliva, but giving up was not an option. Rather, he became more hungry than ever.
From Austria, welcome to our stage, please, Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Here we have Arnold Schwarzenegger, 22 years of age, now living in Los Angeles.
Again, just like last year, Sergio Oliva wanted to retain the title and win it for the 5th time, but Arnold was not willing to give him the opportunity without a fight.
He's the challenger to Sergio Oliva. Weighs almost 230 pounds. He's known to have a very, very heavy upper body.
Look at that chest. Nobody got that, even in the day. He got the biggest chest ever.
Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And the winner, the challenger, coming into this competition. What a big day for this youngster from Austria, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
At just 23 years of age, Arnold became the youngest ever to win the Mr. Olympia.
I think I learned something. I think this is actually good. And they underestimate you, then anything you do, they think is great. So I established myself as the smart bodybuilder.
I only thought about being the greatest bodybuilder. I want to have the biggest arms, the biggest triceps, the biggest delt, have the best posing routine, beat everybody and go from competition to competition, be the winner and become the greatest bodybuilder of all times.
I continued winning. I won then 5 Mr. Universe titles, 7 Mr. Olympias, Mr. World, Mr. International. So altogether it was like 13 World Bodybuilding Championships, something that nobody ever has done before.
And in 1975, he was up against his best friend, Franco Colombo.
Franco Colombo, the premier bodybuilder in the world under 200 pounds. 5 times a contender for the Mr. Olympia title, he plans to win it this year from Arnold.
And now we come to the heavyweights over 200 pounds from the United States of America, Lou Ferrigno.
A significantly taller and heavier Lou Ferrigno also stood in his way.
10 good reps.
Winning one championship after the next, there was always excitement and enthusiasm there. So when I went into the gym, I put my gym bag down and I immediately attacked the weights.
From the United States by Austria, one and only Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, side chest, not front chest, Franco, side. Yeah, this thing's changed a little bit when I go to the side.
One more, same weight, huh? I'm not down for it. Half more weight, let's go. I want to beat him.
The strongest man in the world is blowing up a hot water bottle. That takes 600 pounds of pressure.
It's gonna pop. God.
Listen, when you come out here and you're out here, right? Now they're all waiting for you, Louis. They want to see what you got. They've never seen you before. You tense your legs, right? Then you look at the crowd, Louis. They're all looking at you. Flash bulbs are going to go off and everything. Then you put your arms like this. You look at your arms like you're admiring, right? You're admiring what you're going to show them. And then you go, boom, like you're saying, take a look at this hunk of man. Something like that, okay?
Look, Frank, what you have to do is when I say side chest, then hit the side chest and let it come out. And if you don't have it, don't hit it.
I think I can show the best out there. The only problem is now is made of the judge's opinion too. You never really know what is going to happen.
That's it. Attaboy. Good, now hold that pose, because remember, your arms are bigger than Arnold. And they want to see them, right? These people have never seen your arms, they've seen Arnold. So hold that pose a while.
Arnold!
Third place from the United States of America, Lou Ferrigno. Winner of the 1975 overall Mr. Olympia. The one and only, the greatest, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
More, because it was my last year of competition, and I would like to announce officially that I'm retiring from bodybuilding competition. I would like to thank you all for supporting me. I would like to thank the judges. Bodybuilding has been a beautiful experience for me, and I will continue it for the rest of my life. I only stopped competing, but I'm not stopping bodybuilding. It's the greatest sport. Thank you.
Let me ask you something. Why did you give up the bodybuilding?
I just got very bored, actually, with competition.
What's next? So then you say, well, you know, acting. And I was told many times by managers and agents and studio executives that this would never happen. And I started, you know, working on it, on my speech classes and accent removal classes, acting classes, English classes, and all those kind of things. I was very lucky that I had the same drive and that same vision to get me into movies, and so then the same thing happened in the movie business.
Just at that time, I got a phone call from Lucille Ball, and she said, Arnold, I saw you on one of the talk shows.
Right.
You're a very funny guy, and I said, I agree with you. And she says, could you come into my office and read for a part? I'm doing a special with Art Carney.
Right.
Happy anniversary and goodbye. And I said, terrific. So I came in there to the office and I read, and she gave me the part. And this was actually how it all started.
20 years of pitiless combat. No rest, no sleep like other men. And yet the spring wind blows over their head.
This was really the only movie where I had more responsibility of doing my own stunts than any other movie.
So how are you?
I'm terrific. I'm very excited to just have finished promoting Conan the Destroyer.
Right.
And now I'm promoting Terminator, and I'm ready to go to Rome to do another film.
Yeah.
I'll be back. And then sure enough, when it came out, it was a huge hit. So I proved to the world again, never listen to the naysayers and always just plow ahead and do exactly what is your vision. My vision was to become a big star and to become not only a big star, but to become the highest paid entertainer in that field.
He decided to make a comeback to bodybuilding. With only 7 weeks of preparation, Arnold was determined to make this his 7th title, but Chris Dickerson, Frank Zane, and Mike Menza were all at their peak, while Arnold lacked his usual title-winning size and muscle definition due to his acting career. So many strong contenders for this year's competition, tough choices to be made by the judges, but at the end of the day, a winner has to emerge.
The Austrian Oak Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So many spectators were disappointed by the results because Arnold wasn't at peak condition. The contest was very controversial and the Mr. Olympia lost his credibility. Mike Menza in particular felt cheated and never participated in competitive bodybuilding. After the win, Arnold left bodybuilding for good.
Maybe I should do something else, and just at that time...
On recall! On recall! Keep hope! Keep hope! Alive! Alive!
He said, now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome up a great actor, entertainer, but, you know, someone that really knows about politics, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Somehow, I just recalled this image. I should just explain how I became a Nixon fan. And I talked about his campaign, his presidential campaign, and blah, 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 and all this stuff, and talked about that for around 10 minutes. The more organic you are, the better chance you have to shine. He then came up to me afterwards and he said to me, if you ever run, I would endorse you. You should run for governor. You have the thing that it takes. He says you have the improvisation art down. He says you're very good at communicating with the people, connecting with the people. He says you have it all. You should become governor. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi,
I'm
how are
before
you?
the papers
Okay.
for the recall election on October 7th.
Okay.
And you know who I am, right?
Yes.
Yes. Let's see if you can pronounce my name.
Schwarzenegger.
Very good. Very, very good. That's right. There will be no primaries. There will be no problem. I can go directly to the people and I can go and win. All I have to do is tell them my plan and be convincing. We now have been put into a situation that is worse than ever in the history of the state of California. So it's not something to concentrate on. What we have to concentrate on is leadership. In everything I ever did, I showed great leadership.
Something new, you know? Arnold has so much to say. He seems like he has so much to bring out, and that's good.
Recall election and Arnold Schwarzenegger's participation in it really provides an opportunity to reshape the Republican Party's image here in California and to begin attracting younger voters to the Republican Party.
I felt kind of like, okay, let me try a joke here. Right. And so I made a joke. Speaking of acting, one of my movies was called True Lies.
And that's what the Democrats should have called their convention.
Right. So I realized that's what they need. Yeah. They don't need this serious kind of powers and stuff. They can care less. They want jokes. They want me to attack each one of the candidates. Right. That's what I started doing.
He's a very good speaker, you know. I mean, the way that his accent, everything, just the way he...
He's charismatic.
Yeah, there you go. He's charismatic. That's what I'm looking for.
I really appreciate all your help.
No problem.
And
excuse me.
On Saturday, I'll be back.
I expect you. I'll be waiting.
Exactly. There were times where people said it can never be done, that an Austrian farm boy can come over to America and get into the movie business and be successful in the movie business. They said we cannot pronounce your name, you cannot speak English well, and your body is overdeveloped. And you know what happened? I became the highest paid entertainer in the world, okay?
I went to the people, gave them that message, and I won.
This is like winning an Oscar.
Roll this around on your tongue. Governor-elect Arnold Schwarzenegger.
When I heard that on the news, I literally had tears coming down my eyes.
Then stand here in Madison Square Garden and speak on behalf of the President of the United States. That is an immigrant's dream.
This life is like a relay race, and we each run our part of the race as well as we can, and then we pass the baton to the next person. Just enjoy every moment. This is the best job you'll ever have. Even the bad moments, enjoy.
I think that we can continue on with a great relationship here, and a working relationship. I will need the governor's help in the future. There's many things to learn here when you come into this office. I'm having a great time, but when I look back at my life, I just have to say, my wisest decision was to come to America. Mm-hmm. As long as I live, I will never forget the day 21 years ago, when I raised my right hand and I took the oath of citizenship. You know how proud I was? I was so proud that I walked around with the American flag around my shoulder all day long.
You know, that this actually worked. I am going to become the governor of a state that has 40 million people, that is the #1 state in the United States, that is the 5th largest economy in the world. Because I tell you, none of it, absolutely none of it would have happened if I wouldn't have come to America. I have every success I had was because of America. It has shown to me firsthand that I can say with absolute conviction that this is still the land of opportunity where anyone can make it.
Do you think that the big ambitions came from being in that environment where your dad was, you know, maybe not the nicest dad on some nights?
He meant so well, and he meant to push me and to make me better in athletics and to make me better in school and to make me better as a person and to always talk about being useful and don't waste your time on just looking at yourself in the mirror in the bodybuilding gym. So he meant well. I never really got to know him that well.
Quote, every time he hit me, every time he said my weight training was garbage, that I should do something useful and go out and chop wood, every time he disapproved of me or embarrassed me, it put fuel on the fire in my belly.
That's right. So but he was complicated because he was a victim of the Second World War, meaning that he was dragged into the war, became a soldier, a Nazi officer, you know, was shot at in Stalingrad. That is what gave me the fire in the belly. He was depressed, obviously, that they lost the war in the first place, so that must have had an impact on all this man, because everyone around me when I grew up was kind of drinking. And so the people only drink when they're really unhappy. The more you kind of create resistance to a person, the stronger that person gets. And the stronger your character gets, and the more you can endure in the end. So for that, I thank the world of what my father did. I wish the day I could have a conversation with him, because I'm much smarter now. I'm much more interested in various different issues like that, what makes someone tick. what makes someone, happy and suffer, whatever.